Hi, I'm Raylan. For most of my life, I've been the responsible one in my family. Organized, dependable, always there when someone needed help. My brother Derek, 2 years younger, has always been the opposite. The life of every party, charming his way out of trouble, and never quite growing up. We were close despite our differences. Or at least I thought we were until that night at his 30th birthday party. Ray, you need to lighten up. One more shot isn't going to kill you, Derek said, pushing a glass toward me across the kitchen counter. I shook my head, feeling oddly dizzy. I've had enough. Something feels off. You always say that. For once in your life, stop being so uptight, he laughed, his voice carrying over the music. Jordan, tell my sister she needs to have more fun. Jordan, Derek's college roommate turned business partner, gave me an apologetic look. Maybe she's right, man. She doesn't look so good. That's because she never lets loose, Derek snorted, downing the shot himself. Classic Raylan, always the buzzkill. I gripped the counter as the room tilted sideways. Derek, I'm serious. I think something's wrong. My arm feels numb. Drama queen, he rolled his eyes. You had what, 3 drinks? Stop making excuses and enjoy the party. My speech feels funny. I struggled to get the words out, feeling one side of my mouth drooping strangely. Derek mimicked my slurring, causing several of his friends to laugh. Oh, look at me. I'm Raylan. I can't handle my liquor. Through the growing fog in my brain, I saw Jordan's expression change. Dude, I don't think she's drunk. This looks serious. She's fine, Derek waved him off. She pulls this every time she wants to leave early. Just go lie down in the guest room, Ray. Sleep it off. Call ambulance, I managed before my legs gave out. The last thing I remember was hitting the floor while Derek's laughter faded into darkness. I woke up 3 days later in the hospital to find my best friend Mia sitting beside my bed, not my brother. Oh, thank God, she whispered, grabbing my hand. You're awake. What happened? My voice sounded strange, slightly slurred. You had a stroke, Ray, Mia said, her eyes red from crying. A pretty serious one. Jordan called 911 when you collapsed. The doctor said if you'd gotten help even 30 minutes later... She couldn't finish the sentence. Where's Derek? I asked, trying to sit up. Mia's expression hardened. He didn't believe anything was wrong. He told Jordan you were just being dramatic. When the ambulance came, he was still telling them you probably just needed to sleep off the alcohol. Dr. Patel visited later that afternoon, explaining what had happened to my body with compassionate directness. You experienced an ischemic stroke caused by a blood clot, she said, showing me the brain scans. Given your age and lack of risk factors, we ran additional tests. You have a congenital heart defect that went undiagnosed, a small hole that allowed a clot to travel to your brain. Will I recover? I asked, noticing the weakness on my left side. With therapy, you have an excellent chance of significant recovery, but there may be some permanent effects. The most important factor was timing, and unfortunately, there was a delay in getting you treatment. Because my brother thought I was drunk, I said flatly. Dr. Patel's expression remained professional. The symptoms of stroke can sometimes be confused with intoxication, yes. But the FAST protocol, face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulties, time to call emergency services, exists exactly for this reason. Anyone exhibiting those symptoms should receive immediate medical attention. After she left, Mia helped me piece together what happened after I collapsed. Jordan kept insisting something was wrong, she explained. Derek just kept partying. It was Jordan who called 911, and Derek actually tried to stop him, saying you'd be embarrassed. He tried to prevent me from getting medical help? My voice shook. He really thought you were faking it, Mia said, though her tone made it clear she wasn't defending him. Jordan had to physically move him aside to help the paramedics get to you. Later that day, Aunt Lena visited, bringing flowers and righteous fury. I've already given your brother a piece of my mind, she declared, arranging tulips beside my bed. The nerve of that boy, treating a medical emergency like a joke. What did he say? I asked. Oh, he's full of excuses, Aunt Lena scoffed. Says he didn't know, says he feels terrible. Well, he should. Jordan told me everything. How Derek was making fun of your speech while you were having a stroke. In all my days. Has he tried to visit me? I asked, hating the small, hopeful part of me that still wanted my brother to care. Aunt Lena and Mia exchanged glances. He came by yesterday, Mia admitted reluctantly. The nurses wouldn't let him in because you were still unconscious and he wasn't immediate family. I'm his immediate family, I pointed out. You are, Aunt Lena agreed. He isn't. Not after what he did. Jordan visited that evening, clearly uncomfortable but determined. I'm so sorry, Raylan, he said, perching awkwardly on the visitor's chair. I should have acted sooner. You're the reason I'm alive, I replied. Thank you. I need to tell you something, Jordan said, leaning forward. Derek's been telling people you overreacted, that it was just a panic attack. He's embarrassed about what happened. Embarrassed? I repeated incredulously. I had a stroke. I know, Jordan nodded. And I've been correcting everyone, showing them the text updates Mia's been sending about your condition. But I think you should know he's minimizing this. I can't be his friend anymore, not after seeing how he treated you. A week later, I was transferred to a rehabilitation facility. My left side was gradually regaining strength, but my speech still slurred when I was tired, and fine motor control remained challenging. The day after my transfer, Derek finally showed up. Hey sis, he said, hovering in the doorway with a stuffed bear and wilting convenience store flowers. You look better. Do I? I asked coldly. Better than when I was having a stroke and you were mocking me? He flinched. Look, I feel terrible about what happened. How was I supposed to know? The paramedics said I was showing all 3 major signs of a stroke, I replied. Face drooping, arm weakness, slurred speech. You thought that was funny? I thought you were drunk, Derek protested, stepping further into the room. People act weird when they're drunk all the time. I told you something was wrong. I asked for help. You laughed at me. I made a mistake. A horrible, awful mistake that I will regret for the rest of my life. What else can I say? He dropped into the chair beside my bed. Ray, you're my sister. I love you. I would never intentionally hurt you. But you did hurt me, I said quietly. The doctors say the delay in treatment made my stroke worse. I might have permanent damage because you couldn't be bothered to take me seriously. I said I'm sorry. Derek's voice rose. What more do you want from me? You want me to feel guilty. I feel guilty. You want me to apologize? I'm apologizing. I want you to understand what you did, I said, struggling to keep my voice steady. This isn't about your feelings or your guilt. This is about the fact that I trusted you and you failed me in the worst possible way. So that's it? You'll never forgive me? Derek stood up, anger replacing his initial contrition. One mistake and you're done with me? A mistake is forgetting my birthday, I replied. What you did was dismiss me when I was in danger. You prioritized your party over my health. That's not a mistake, Derek. That's who you are. That's not fair, he shouted. You've always thought the worst of me, always judging, always looking down on me because you think you're so perfect. I'm not the one who laughed while my sibling was having a stroke, I said. Fine. Stay bitter. See if I care. Derek threw the stuffed bear onto the bed. I tried to apologize, but clearly nothing I say matters to you. Maybe when you're done playing the victim, we can talk again. Playing the victim? I repeated, fury rising in me. I am a victim of a stroke and of your neglect. You know what? This is exactly why I didn't take you seriously that night, Derek snapped. Everything is always a drama with you. Always has been. The rehabilitation nurse appeared in the doorway, alarmed by the raised voices. Is everything okay in here? No, I said, not taking my eyes off my brother. He was just leaving. Yeah, I was, Derek said bitterly. Good luck with your recovery. Call someone who cares. As he stormed out, the nurse approached my bed. Your blood pressure is elevated. Who was that? The person who thought my stroke was a joke, I answered, and apparently still does. 3 months later, I returned to work part-time. My recovery had progressed well, though I still attended speech and physical therapy twice weekly. The support from Mia, Aunt Lena, and surprisingly, Jordan had been invaluable. Jordan had become an unexpected ally, providing documentation of that night, and even accompanying me to meet with a medical malpractice attorney. While we couldn't pursue legal action against Derek for his inaction, the consultation revealed another option. Your brother has been telling people it wasn't serious, the lawyer explained. That constitutes defamation, especially since it's affecting your insurance claims and potentially your employment. With Jordan's evidence and Dr. Patel's medical documentation, we sent a cease and desist letter to Derek. His response was to show up at my apartment, furious. A legal letter? Are you kidding me? He demanded when I opened the door. You're threatening to sue me now? I'm asking you to stop lying about my medical condition, I replied calmly, leaving the door open so the conversation would have witnesses. Mia and Jordan were inside. You're interfering with my insurance coverage by telling people I faked a stroke. I never said you faked it. I said it wasn't as serious as you're making it out to be. My medical records say otherwise, I replied. And you weren't even there for most of my recovery, so how would you know? Because I know you. You've always exaggerated everything. Mia appeared behind me. That's enough, Derek. Raylan had a life-threatening stroke that you ignored. Now you're lying about it to save face. It stops now. Or what? Derek challenged. Jordan stepped forward. Or we move forward with legal action and report you to the medical board for actively interfering with emergency medical care. I was there, remember? I saw you try to prevent the paramedics from helping her. Derek paled. You wouldn't. Try me, I said quietly. You had your chance to make this right, Derek. All you had to do was acknowledge what happened and stop spreading lies. Instead, you doubled down. Fine, he spat. Have it your way, but this ends our relationship for good. Family doesn't do this to each other. Family doesn't mock someone having a stroke, I countered. Family doesn't leave someone on the floor while they continue partying. You ended our relationship that night. After he left, Mia wrapped an arm around my shoulders. You okay? Actually, yes, I said, surprised to find it was true. For the first time since this happened, I feel like I can move forward. 2 weeks later, I received a call from a mutual friend, Tanya, who'd been at the party. Raylan, I need to tell you something, she said, her voice tense. Derek's telling everyone a completely different version of what happened. What's he saying now? I asked, gripping the phone tighter. That you were mixing medication with alcohol that night against doctor's orders, and that's what caused your medical emergency, Tanya explained. He's saying he tried to help, but you refused. My hand shook with anger. That's a complete lie. I wasn't on any medication. The doctors confirmed it was a stroke caused by a congenital heart defect. I figured, Tanya replied. It didn't sound right to me. Several of us who were there that night are meeting for coffee tomorrow. Would you join us? We want to hear your side directly. The next day, I met with 5 people who'd witnessed what happened. They listened intently as I explained my diagnosis, treatment, and recovery. I remember how Derek was acting, said Mark, a colleague of my brother's. Jordan was the only one who seemed concerned. I'm ashamed I didn't do more. Me too, added Tanya. We should have intervened. I don't blame any of you, I assured them. But Derek needs to stop spreading these lies. They're affecting my insurance claims and my reputation. We'll set the record straight, promised Elise, another friend from that night. And I've saved the group texts from when it happened. Derek joking about you being dramatic even after the ambulance arrived. I'll forward them to you. Later that evening, Dr. Patel called with my latest test results. Your recovery is quite remarkable, she said. The brain has amazing plasticity. You've put in the work, and it shows. Thank you for everything, I replied. Not just the medical care, but for believing me. It means more than you know. I'm submitting a formal report to your insurance company clarifying the nature and cause of your stroke, she added. They shouldn't be giving you any more trouble about coverage. My brother's been telling people I was mixing alcohol with medication, I admitted. Dr. Patel's voice hardened. That's categorically false, and I'll make that clear in my documentation. Your toxicology report showed only moderate alcohol consumption, well within legal limits. Your stroke was caused by a congenital condition, period. That night, at my regular support group for young stroke survivors, I shared my story in full for the first time. Sometimes the hardest part isn't the physical recovery, I concluded. It's realizing who you can truly count on. I lost a brother, but I gained a deeper appreciation for the people who stood by me. Do you think you'll ever reconcile with your brother? Another member asked. I don't know, I answered honestly. But I do know that I won't accept being dismissed or devalued again by him or anyone else. This experience taught me that advocating for myself isn't being dramatic. Sometimes it's the difference between life and death. As the session ended, I checked my phone to find a message from Jordan. Heard Derek's telling a different story now. Apparently, he heroically recognized your stroke symptoms and insisted on calling 911. Want me to set the record straight? I smiled and typed back, no need. The truth has a way of finding its light. The next morning, I received an unexpected message from Derek. Mom's flying in next week. She wants to see us both. I stared at the text for a long time before replying, I'll see Mom. I'm not ready to see you. His response came quickly. She wants to help us work things out. Can't you just forgive and forget? It's been months. Some things can't be forgotten, Derek, I wrote back. What you did and what you're still doing has consequences. I'm focusing on my recovery now. So that's it? We're just not family anymore? He demanded. I thought carefully before responding. Family is built on trust and care. When you're ready to accept what really happened and stop spreading lies, maybe we can talk about rebuilding. But I won't pretend everything is fine when it isn't. I set down my phone, feeling lighter. For the first time since that night, I wasn't hoping for Derek's approval or understanding. I was standing in my truth, surrounded by people who believed me, and that was enough. Have you ever had someone dismiss your concerns only to be proven right? How did you handle it? Let me know in the comments.